Maya started her career strong with 2 major hit albums, but despite the acclaim, awards, and fame, she decided to take her career down a different path. Maya was signed to Interscope Records in 1996 and released her first album 2 years later, which was both a critical and commercial success. The album produced her first top 10 track, It's All About Me, and she continued the upward trend with Ghetto Superstar, which received a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group. Her second album, Fear of Flying, was another hit, though it marked the beginning of her turbulent relationship with Interscope Records. The trouble all started when they decided not to include Girls Like That on the album. Maya believed this song was important for men to hear as it stood up for them and debunked the narrative at the time that was painting men as mooches. As the singer explained to Entertainment Weekly, it's making guys aware of what girls can do instead of just putting down the guys. After tiring from the fight for artistic control, she parted ways with Interscope Records in 2005 and signed with Universal Motown to produce Liberation in 2007, but due to label budget cuts and delays, the album suffered a commercial failure. The release pushbacks caused it to get leaked in Japan, prompting the label to launch it exclusively as a digital download during a time when physical albums were more popular. Disappointed by the label and determined to control her music, Maya went independent after only a year at Universal Motown, according to the Daily Beast.
Sometimes you get lost in the sauce, but when you return back home to your roots, you ultimately find why you started in the first place.
In 2007, after her split with Motown Universal, Maya was finally free from creative restraints. Her lawyers gave her advice to either go through a lengthy legal process and sue, or go independent. So, as The Culture writes, she decided to embark on a journey as an independent artist. People often misguidedly ask when she's going to sing again, but Maya told Grazia that she takes it positively and doesn't get annoyed. I've been independent, and independent is a different world and a lot harder. It's a lot more fulfilling in some ways, but you're less visible and less audible to the masses. The arduous process of starting her label, Planet 9, kept Maya extremely busy. She executive produced, self-engineered, self-funded, and released 7 different compilations. As she said via the Herald Sun, Planet 9 is where I create my own rules, and my own time, which doesn't necessarily have to revolve around earthly days and months. The learning curve slowed her star power, but now she's more familiar with the process. In an interview with Vibe, she explained, "I know it like the back of my hand, but it's taken 10 years for that to happen."
There's music business, and then there's music, and then there's a marriage of the two, but you always have to pull from that source when you want to be in love with what you're doing.
Maya also has a unique relationship with fans, hiring them for various aspects of her work. One even created graphics for her Smooth Jones album cover. She told Vibe that watching them succeed brings her joy. Maya said she's traveled more parts of the world in her independent years than she did when she was signed to a record label. While this may be surprising to some, it turns out that labels are charged exorbitant amounts because they have deep pockets. In an interview with The Culture, she explained, "I've been able to negotiate with team players and keeping my budgets to a minimum by working with really talented people that believe in me." The first places she went to as an indie artist were Japan and Australia, neither of which she'd visited as a major artist, even though she had #1 hits in both countries. She told The Culture, "I find myself doing a lot of the things that I should have been doing as a charting artist on a major label now than ever before." At the beginning of her independence, Maya got a partnership offer from the Japanese label Manhattan Records. According to her website, she recorded 3 albums through the coalition, 2 being exclusive to the Japanese music market, Sugar and Spice in 2008, and KISS Keep It Sexy and Simple in 2011. Moreover, you can catch Maya's name on the lineup for 2023 festivals like I Love R&B Music Festival in Long Beach and Australia's Juicy Fest. Maya has cleaned up in nominations and awards throughout her career. Her first Grammy nomination was when she sang the hook for Ghetto Superstar. She also received kudos for her debut album, including a Lady of Soul Best Music Video nomination for Movin' On and 2 Soul Train Music Award nominations. Her second album was nominated at the Soul Train Music Awards as well for Best R&B Soul Album. She won her first Grammy for Lady Marmalade, a remake of Patti LaBelle's '74 classic, on the Moulin Rouge soundtrack. Maya joined the iconic collaboration with Pink, Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, and Missy Elliott. The original song made it to the top of Billboard's Hot 100s, and the 2001 version quickly followed. The song became the first ever to top the chart with over 2 credited female artists, and the third collaboration by separate female artists in history to hit #1. It also won 2 MTV Video Music Awards, a VH1 Music Award, a Radio Music Award, and a Teen Choice Award. Maya Smooth Jones, which she executive produced on her label, received a Grammy nomination in 2016 for Best R&B Album. She was also nominated for Best R&B Artist at the Whammy Awards in 2019. The achievements just keep stacking up. In 1999, Maya crossed over from singing to acting with the crime thriller In Too Deep. From there, she quickly jumped into various supporting roles for major films and musicals, which set her up as an established actor. She also earned a Screen Actors Guild Award for her performance as Mona in the 2002 adaptation of Chicago. After that, she continued to get cameos in films like Dirty Dancing, Havana Nights, and Shall We Dance. Finally, Maya got more screen time in Wes Craven's 2005 horror Cursed as Jenny Tate, a college student who tries to escape a werewolf's claws. This earned her an MTV Movie Award nomination for Best Frightened Performance. In 2018, she landed a starring role in Fifth Ward as a single mother trying to take care of her sons in the crime-filled Fifth Ward area of Houston. During a conversation published by Ebony, Maya said, "I would love for people to connect to the human experience. When your back is against the wall and you feel like you're losing faith and hope because so many things are coming at you at once, hold on. Faith, love, and hope are the lessons." Maya's been dancing since she was 4 years old. As she explained via MTV, "My mother put me into dancing school and I did every type of dance there is." Apparently, she watched Savion Glover, a child tap prodigy, in the movie Tap and was hooked. She eventually joined the Tappers with Attitude dance troupe and stayed with them for a few years before auditioning for Glover. After 2 auditions, she made the cut at 13 years old. According to the Washington Post, she did several residencies with Glover and got a solo spot in a Kennedy Center performance. Later, Maya would go on to compete on Season 9 of Dancing with the Stars. Although she and partner Dimitri Chaplin won throughout the show, they ultimately came in second place by only 2 points, which disappointed many fans. The pair wowed with their complicated samba, sexy salsa, and epic paso doble, winning 10s across the board for all 3. Their energetic jive earned straight 9s. And she was dubbed Maya the Magnificent by Bruno Tonioli.
Because we know that we like up-tempos,
Yep.
so it's going to be full of energy.
In an industry filled with fame and attention, Maya says she focuses on herself in order to succeed. Execs urged her to date superstars for publicity, and as she refused, misogynistic rumors spread. According to Vibe, her self-confidence and autonomous decisions were equated with a, quote, attitude and cattiness. She was also the target of gossip surrounding 50 Cent and The Game after the former claimed he slept with her in 2005, according to the Daily Beast. Maya and The Game had a brief relationship, which ended after he stood her up on Valentine's Day for another woman. As for 50 Cent, Maya told Vibe, 50 and I never dated, never cuddled, never did anything period, despite what he chooses to believe in his own mind. Whenever she recorded with an eligible bachelor, the rumor mill ran wild. In 2009, gossip spread that she was dating Gucci Mane. Maya explained via the Daily Beast, "They caught me in the wrong pose looking like we had just finished kissing. People will always have an opinion. Even if you're over here saving the world, there is a group of people that will love you and a group of people that will always hate you." For Maya, self-care is important for self-expression. Her perseverance and fight to remain authentic serve as guiding lights for future female artists. Unfortunately, she experienced losses in her career while going through emotional turmoil. Her parents, who were also her managers, went through a bitter divorce. Her mom developed breast cancer, and her father was suicidal. She said via Yahoo News, "I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of crying." She also opened up about the effects of people-pleasing and her desire to break the generational cycle of trauma because so many women in her family dealt with sadness. So, Maya made the important decision to put her mental well-being first and slow down. She left the music industry behind in 2005 to figure out what made her feel like herself. She explained to Vibe, "I'm solid as a woman. There's really nothing now that can break or shake me." Maya has been devoting time and resources to various causes. After her mother survived breast cancer, she became a passionate advocate for the cause. According to her website, she collaborated with Lifetime for the Stop Breast Cancer for Life campaign by recording My Bra and donating 100% of profits to breast cancer research. She even founded her own charity called the Maya Arts and Tech Foundation, or TMATF, which is a nonprofit organization that provides opportunities through arts and technology education for disadvantaged youth. For Maya, philanthropy has been a way to heal. In an interview with South Coast Today, she said, "Getting involved with kids and community service made me feel like I had a purpose in life and in my society. It feels good to know that you can help someone out." According to her website, Maya is also very devoted to animal welfare and has participated in various campaigns. In 2022, she was made the first U.S. ambassador for World Animal Protection, according to PR Newswire. Maya's love of animals and her focus on health and wellness put her on a path toward veganism. Before becoming vegan, she was a longtime vegetarian. She initially tried veganism as a challenge of willpower, but it quickly morphed into a lifestyle, according to her website. She's become very passionate about the cause, telling Vegan Life magazine, "It literally changed my life in every positive way." Eventually, her love of veganism led her to become the face of PETA's 2016 Go Vegan campaign. In a video online, Maya discussed what it means to be vegan, weighing the pros and cons of the lifestyle. She emphasized that the switch doesn't usually start out easy.
You walk into a world of cluelessness with no actual advice, no handbook.
However, she created a free online guide to help beginners when making the switch. Maya also released a vegan wine called Planet 9 Fine Wine. The brand developed a red Cabernet Sauvignon with plum infusions that used plant-based fining properties rather than the animal-based properties that are commonly used when making wine.